Welcome back, XLNC Esports fans. It's my finals. We're 1-1 with CDU and Hawthorn Esports here, going into Game 3 draft. Similar band setup so far, but we'll have to see if things end up getting changed up. We did see a rotation from counters going jungle in Game 1 on a loss to bot lane in Game 2. Saw potential for lane swaps in this game, or in Game 2 as well, from the side of Capedogs, but they ended up sticking with standard lane assignments, and we're seeing if we're going to see more flex picks, more lane swaps, but ultimately it looks like both teams are looking to play a standard here as we move into Game 3.
Yeah, and Capedogs did have side select for this Game 3, and they chose blue side. Last game, Hawthorne chose red side. They were able to take the win with that one, so hopefully red side does not take the 100% win rate, as usually it is blue side taking that one, and hopefully it's not a more of a 50-50 this time.
Yeah, so immediately first pick hovered here is going to be the Thresh. We did see Lulu picked up 2 games in a row here for CDU, now changing it up. Not Matty Mice. Hey, it's Talon popped off on Thresh in the quarterfinals. Actually had a 100% win rate on Thresh in the quarterfinals. That's what they ended up winning their 3 games on, and actually lost when he wasn't on Thresh. So looking to go back towards that more aggressive bot lane pick here. We'll see if that leads to some success here for CDU.
I did really like the Lulu, especially in Game 1 with the denial of all assassins from Hawkthorne. And then in Game 2, didn't really have as much assassin denial presence there for Capedogs. So now locking in Thresh B1 is a little bit risky. Usually you only do that if you want to deny that pick from Hawkthorne. And in this game, Thresh is a strong pick. I just don't think he's strong enough to be picked first. And then the Jinx insta-locking from Hawkthorne is taking the bot lane away from Capedogs.
Yeah, I mean, this is also the pick that Capedogs has run the first 2 games. So locking in the Jinx here, and I imagine we're going to see the Lulu, but actually going to be the Rel. So they are opting, or Hawthorne's opting a lot for hard engage here over the usual protect the ADC comp style that they run in the past.
Yeah, and Jinx is one of those AD carries that you can run that protect comp around, but you usually don't run that with one of those engage supports like Rel. So instantly locking in that Rel afterwards does show that you are potentially looking to run a protect comp around another lane, as Capedogs locking in Ashe Hecarim. Lots of CC, very strong damage for team fights.
Yeah, this is interesting here. So this is the first time we've seen Xin Zhao and Trundle banned out. Nocturne was actually banned out by CDU on this run, so they were able to flex another ban over towards that Trundle, and don't tell me it's gonna be a Shyvana
No,
pick.
it's Troll. It's Troll. Don't worry. They're
okay.
team now.
Hecarim was the pick up here for CDU, and that's it actually is a Shyvana lock-in. So 2 junglers we haven't seen in a long time here in Light League. Very interesting pickups here for both these teams. We'll have to see what Arth and Pellycraft are doing their respective champions.
Yeah, Shyvana is that classic farm to 6, but Steel Dragon away at level 4 champion, where she has that passive that makes her do crazy amounts of damage to dragons. It's just, she doesn't really have any gank presence whatsoever pre-level 6, where she does kind of need that ultimate, and she is another one of those champions that can go attack speed or AP, so it is sort of safe to pick her early on just because she does have that flex potential in her build path, but she gets out-farmed and out-ganked by almost all junglers. It's just very hard to play her if you're not as far ahead as you need to be to deal that AP damage and attack speed that you do have to have.
I will say Arth played the Trundle phenomenally well, and Shyvana has kind of that similar style where you're just looking to farm up. You don't really have a very strong gank presence. And on top of that, Hawthorne has been controlling dragons phenomenally well here in the early game.
Yeah.
So they continue to do that. You get your Shyvana on that snowball, you get her tanky early, you get the soul. I see the solid game plan forming here for Hawthorne.
Yeah, like you're saying, all she needs to do is get these early dragons, which Hawkthorne have been so good at doing. I do believe both of these games, they have taken the first 2 dragons. They've just not really been able to take any more afterwards. So if you're going to pick a jungler to be taking dragons, you're going to be picking Shyvana.
Yeah, great pickups here. Bans have now come out in the second phase. We got the Malphite, LeBlanc on one side, saw this in game 2. And on the other side, banning out the late game scaling hyper carries. No more Vlad, no more Kale on the table. And once again, Set locked in here for Godzilla. Still looking to see him come out ahead here in this top lane. Daze has just had the upper hand in every single matchup. You could say it's a little bit of jungle presence here towards the top side from Pellycraft, but really Daze has been showing his stuff this game, and he'll be on another unique pick here in this top lane. Although Mundo's available, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he did have a really good game 2 on set. Game 1, not so much, and that's an Aurelia. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
we talked about it game 1 that Irelia is a lot stronger now than she was a patch ago. They made her easier to play was the design philosophy, but really realistically they just buffed her, which I guess technically, yeah, sure, that would fix, but Irelia's just better right now is what I'm getting at. And still has that pop-off potential, still a very strong champion, and with how much CDU plays on their top side or top and mid, I'm not surprised to see this pick. Cho'Gath will be the last pick here, so some flexibility, got some AP, but look at the front line here. Hecarim, Cho'Gath, Thresh, Irelia all running you down, with Ashe just dropping slows on you on the way out.
Yeah, this is not a team comp that you want to team fight against, but the issue is all of this team comp can do is team fight. There's not really any pick potential. There's definitely no siege potential on this team comp. They're just looking for team fights, but they're going to be really good at it.
Yeah, I mean, if they can fight around these neutral objectives and stop Shyvana from getting an early game dragon, I mean, both these games, we've seen teleports down to bottom lane from Hawthorn like at 450 each time. They get the fight, they go for drag right after, and they're finding great opportunities there. So if they continue to do that, get this Shyvana into a position where she can take drags without them being contested, they're gonna be in a really good spot. However, Capedogs maybe have gotten a read on this by now and are looking to nullify those 5-minute TP plays that they see again and again and again from Hawkthorne.
Yeah, and I'm not actually sure what that R5 pick is. It did time out, so... Okay, it will be Lucian R5 for Hawkthorne, and I guess that Lucian is going to be going mid lane, so that is a little bit more of that early game presence that they do need, but playing Lucian into Irelia mid lane is, seems a lot more Irelia favored, and if anything, it's just a super skill matchup.
Yeah, I'm not sure even who will be going mid lane into the Lucian. I would say if I had to pick one, I would want it to be Series for Y on the Irelia in mid, sending the Cho'Gath top, but again, then you're playing Cho'Gath into set, and that's not really great either. So I think this is a really good draft from Hawkthorne, picking some strong lane matchups. You mentioned earlier that Shyvana has the option to go AD or AP. This is looking like an AP Shyvana kind of game, using that damage nuke on the Dragon Form E to constantly just get some poke down, and then looking for the hard engage with that Lucian, with that set, with that Rel, to just get into the fight and really force CDU to bend to what you want to do in team fights.
Yeah, both of these team comps are just really centered around team fighting. So once it does come down to team fighting, it's going to come down to who has better positioning, who has maybe a pick beforehand, who has that vision control that you do be needing to win these team fights. As both of these team comps, they're going to want to run into each other. It's just who's going to do it better.
Yeah, interesting to see. And, you know, we won't know until the last 20 seconds of this draft because that's when picks are forced to be locked in. You can't change them anymore. Where the Cho'Gath will be going, where the set will be going, where the Lucian will be going, and where the blank in the last one here, Irelia will be going. So there's just 2 flex picks on each lane. It's a question of who they want to play what. Godzilla has been playing the set primarily here 2 games in a row now, so I imagine game 3 also will be taking that into the top lane. But again, it's anyone's guess. We'll have to see how it ends up planning out.
And then for the spot lane, you've got some really strong laners down here that we haven't gotten to see in the past 2 games, where it's been the Jinx Lulu that's just kind of like the nullifier. We're going to scale up no matter what happens. And now we've got a lot more pressure down here and definitely going to have a lot more fighting if we didn't already have enough fighting in the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the party. The story has just been party bot lane. On the dot, 5-minute teleports. We get either a 3, 4, or 5-man. And then they just continue to follow that up. It was dives coming in from Hardstrike Brother on the Echo last game. It was even, I would say, less jungle presence in the bottom lane and more just mid and top presence in the bottom lane, letting Arth just be a nuisance to Panic Dingo and forcing him away from his own jungle constantly with invades whenever they had prio.
Yeah. Lane for Capedogs, they've just been playing safe. We haven't really gotten to see the big power play early game from them quite yet, where they've had to give both dragons early on just because they don't have the lane presence, and then later on, once they do scale up, they do get to take those dragons for themselves. When now in this game, we get to see completely different. Game 3, we are calling it out. No more early game, or no more late game. Now we're only in early game.
I mean, I wouldn't say that either of these teams scale particularly well. Lucian tends to fall off due to his ranges. Ashe, I mean, like, in theory has some good DPS late game, but she's just so hard to stay alive with, honestly, later on in the game. They don't have anything to protect her this time. No Lulu available was the saving grace of this team in multiple team fights in game 1 and 2 here. We'll have to see what they can do on the Thresh, as I know it's another good high or talent pickup here, but again, it's just a bit questionable.
You do have a super scaling champion that is Cho'Gath in the mid lane, but having Cho'Gath in the mid lane, especially playing into Set, if Set does decide to go mid lane to match him, is he's not going to get to do as much scaling as you'd like that champion to do. And like you're saying, Ashe Thresh bot lane, they're not the insurance policy that you do need just in case someone does get behind on Capedogs.
In truth, there isn't a good lane for this Cho'Gath to go into. You're playing either into Lucian, who just dashes away from your Rupture, nullifies your entire combo, and then just autos you on the way out. You play into Set, who's got that percent HP with the Showstopper. It's just tough, honestly, for him, and it's gonna be really hard for him to get into range. Luckily, they have Enchanted Crystal Arrow. They can throw that down middle lane and surprise the Lucian. They also have Hecarim, who can really quickly get behind this Lucian and Jinx. So that'll be kind of what will allow Cho'Gath to get into the fight. He doesn't have to be primary engage, which is good. But again, I think either way, you're looking at a tough lane matchup here for Cho'Gath, and I'm kind of curious to see if, again, it will be the middle lane Cho'Gath or the top lane Cho'Gath, as I think Daze and Theories for Why can play both these champions.
I mean, they could swap now and then swap again on Summoner's Rift. So really, it's just gonna have to wait until the minions match up down in the lanes. At this point, you can't really tell who's going in what lane. You're most likely going to have Set matching wherever Cho'Gath goes, and if Cho'Gath does go in a lane that they don't expect, then it could have some more swaps later on as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the thing to consider of the Shyvana poke with this enhanced Dragon E. Really need to be careful whenever you're playing into it. And they don't really have any sustained options here. Cho'Gath's got a little bit, Aurelia's got a little bit, but they have to be able to hit minions, and if she can just zone them away from that, they have no way to heal back up from the poke that they're going to be able to generate here. And then looking for the hard engage follow-up with the Rel, there's a dangerous, any kind of ARAM style of play is super dangerous here for Capedogs.
I don't want to say they want to farm up, but they don't really want to ARAM either, whereas they need to find picks, but they need to find picks in choke points like you were saying, as you get the Aurelia ult into, the Hecarim ult into, maybe even a bot from Thresh as well, and that's, if you stack all of that into one choke point, that is very dangerous for Hawthorn to walk in.
Both these teams hungrily looking for their match point here. As we move on into the spectator delay waiting screen, we will be right back here on XLNC Esports with Capedogs Unleashed versus Hawkthorne, Game 3. And we are on to the Rift, Game 3, Capedogs Unleashed versus Hawthorn Esports, 1-1. We're all tied up. Hawkthorne off the back of the win. Capedogs looking to stop the streak here and now. As they move on, it's some early game shenanigans here from both teams. 5 stacking into each other's top and bottom side jungles.
Yeah, it's early game shenanigans, and neither team is gonna find the other team, as I do think they're just gonna both get some nice early wards. Early vision is very helpful in tracking the enemy jungler, but Capedogs, they might actually stay for a kill here.
They have the option to do so. Always risky. You never know how many members are going to come down and recheck out this area to the jungle together. Right now you do have Hardstuck on the Lucian, sitting in mid and just waiting. But also, it does look like it will be Daze on Aurelia top. CS for Y taking the Cho'Gath mid here against Hardstuck brother in the middle lane. So we're going to have a little bit of trouble early game here against the Lucian, but we'll have to see if he can manage to keep himself alive and at least even here against this lane bully.
And I do think this is actually going to be an AP Cho'Gath, as he did build that Comet and Doran's Ring, so he might actually not be going towards that tank and could be looking towards the Everfrost first item instead, which is a little bit more of that build that you do go into counter matchups, because you can't really build tank into a set, or that's exactly why he counters him, is you ultimate to the team and that does insane damage based on how much HP he builds. But when you do build that 8P style instead, it's a little bit less of a punch to the gut.
Yeah, absolutely. So with both these junglers set up here, this is going to be full clears from both, I have to imagine. Shyvana doesn't want to do anything early. Hecarim, in theory, could go for something earlier, but really looking to match the farming of this Shyvana, make sure they both hit level 4 around the same time. Will be a handshake at Scuttles most likely, unless one of these bot lanes can get extreme prio over the other. And right now it's actually counters in Matty Mice with that level 2, looking a little stronger over Yodacious and Hey It's Talon right now.
Yeah, definitely Rel hitting level 2 is very strong. Is if she's able to land even just a W, she doesn't even have to land any, just a W would probably land a kill onto Yoda if she is able to find it. But Panic looking for a gank here in the mid lane, not going to be able to find it as Lucian does have a dash of his own. But him taking half his HP bar so early on, especially in a matchup such as Cho'Gath, is a little bit surprising.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, like, again, when you're playing against Illusion, you have to be very careful with your auto spacing. You give up one auto attack at the wrong time, with your dash being down, Cho'Gath can just hit the Rupture and go for a full trade on you. And that quick trade where he can just thread on all the abilities at once, you're going to lose that as Lucian. Lucian wants to get these very quick in and out trades, always looking for, you know, an auto here and there, just slowly whittle down the Cho'Gath. But if he manages to get a full rotation off on you, it's going to hurt.
Oh yeah, it's gonna hurt, especially since Sirius is building that AP where he's not doing that tankiness that you thought he was originally going to be doing. He's gonna be doing that AP damage that actually is a fairly strong counter to Lucian, as well as a little bit to set. Yes, he is still gonna get tanky just based on his ultimate, but not really as much as you would originally have thought.
Panic Dingo getting spotted out by wards here. But actually, even on farm, once he picks up the Scuttle, Shyvana just slightly ahead, as did manage to go straight to Scuttle rather than looking for any ganks. So just a little bit behind here, but not too worse for wear on the Hecarim so far in this game.
Yeah, Shyvana is one of the fastest clearing junglers in the game, and as I say that Godzilla, he's gonna be ganked from behind, but he does not have that level 6 available on the set. He lands that nice flash W, but other than that, he can't really go for the 1v2 outplay quite yet, and that's just gonna be a splash burned, and he could be looking for a gank back onto Godzilla's Panic Dingo. Does have the right gank angle for it, as Daze does land that E-stun, but they don't want to commit to a full dive, not knowing where Arth is.
Yeah, Hecarim really struggles very early on, doesn't have much damage. If he can get behind you, of course, with the E, he can just kind of shove you back, and then you have time to kind of whittle people down. But he needs to stack up that Q to really have any kind of meaningful DPS. And without the Q being stacked up there as, you know, the timer ticked down, he's just not going to have the damage that you'd want in a gank to really pull off here against the top lane Godzilla.
Yeah, not gonna have that damage, and your jungler Arth not gonna have that damage either. Even if he was up there, he's just not gonna be able to do the damage that you do need in these early dives just to try and save your top laner, as he does have a very fast clear, like I was saying before they went for the gank. As you can see, he's already full cleared once, now he's full clearing a second time as well, and Hecarim, he's only cleared one camp a second time and going for another gank here in the mid lane.
So here's something that frustrates me in solo queue to no end. When one lane has constant prio, laners like to say, they're always pushed up underneath the tower, why aren't you coming? But what you don't consider is that the reason, or them being pushed up this far, means that they're able to get deep vision in the jungle. They now know exactly where Hecarim is, spotted out once again on this board in bottom lane. There's no vision control here for Capedogs, and there's nowhere Panic Dingo can go without being spotted out.
No, yeah, he is spotted out by this ward before he even walks into the bot lane, and you already know he's spotted out before he walks into the mid lane. As Sirius, he's flashing away from Hardstep, but not having level 6. That's going to be the first blood kill for Hardstep in the mid lane.
Solo killed by the Culling. It's another fight in the bottom lane.
Another fight in the bottom lane. Maddie lands that nice W onto Hayat's Talon, but not having any follow-up damage as Panic Dingo is here for the counter gank. Does look like they could be looking for some more damage back onto Maddie, as the hook does go wide just a little bit. They're very unfortunate for the bot lane of Capedogs.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Slowed down. Hey, it's Talon, I believe, predicting a dodge that just didn't happen there. Maybe just slight miss input, who knows, but unable to land the hook to try and find any rebuttal there. So not be able to find the kill, but it's a fight here. Daze is looking for the all-in.
He's going for the 1v1 kill onto Godzilla. He knows he doesn't have flash available, but he does have that ultimate. It does a lot of damage as Daze. He has the fully stacked passive. One more auto is going to get the solo kill up in top lane for Daze.
So solo kills traded out here versus top versus mid. Irelia gets one. Lucian did get first blood there, but Daze finding the solo top, just dashing on through with Irelia into the minion wave, got that fully stacked blade surge, and she just does so much damage in that 1 versus 1.
Yeah, that is the power of the quote-unquote easier Irelias. You don't have to stack up that passive as much to be able to do that crazy damage that fully stacked passive is able to do, and the quote-unquote easier makes it, like you're saying, just a nice buff.
So we just did see the Shyvana on the recall here, and you see all my wave pings towards the Rel. Could be looking for the gank, as I know there is no available Rel to help out, but I do believe Panic Dingo was spotted here, so it's going to be hard for them to commit to this one.
Yeah, Panic Dingo, he sees counters, has no mana, but he doesn't really know where Arth is specifically. He could potentially know that he did just go on a recall, because actually I do think he saw him recall on that
Yeah.
dragon.
Yeah, was spotted out by that plant. Daze almost lands that stun. Probably would have gone for another all-in here in the top lane, but ultimately Godzilla is not given any room here for Daze. Sees one cooldown go down and just says, "All right, that's a trade I can win." Dashes back on in, gets a 1-2 punch, and takes out a chunk of the health right there.
Yeah, now this first dragon does look like it could be going down to Capedogs, which is not the team that we've been seeing go for these early dragons, as we could have a little bit of a early scuffle for this first dragon, but not really having Arth here early enough is just going to be giving this dragon over to Capedogs.
And actually, CSRY just missed his beast, but there's a fight on our hands.
But Matt is flashing in. He's trying to find his engage onto Talon. Still not level 6 available. Will be giving that kill over to Maddie.
That's rough. So not only do they miss the feast and fail to stack CSRY up just a little bit more, they also lose a kill there. And also CSRY got hard engaged on by the Lucian, lost so much health, and now is forced to recall. Will likely lose a full wave here in the middle lane.
Yeah, very rough for him, as we do have another 1v1 coming in on the top lane as Daze. He dodges out Godzilla's ult, now has his ult down, but not really able to continue it, as we do have a TP coming in here on the bottom red buff, as Daze does find the tower of first blood, or first kill onto Godzilla. The top lane is serious. He's trying to find this kill down onto Arth. He does not have the ultimate available because of the dragon, but he's still able to pick up the kill onto Arth, and now turning back around onto Maddie. He is not tanky enough. He does not do enough damage, as Yoda pulled in by the Magnet Storm, but is able to get that auto onto Hardstuck right before he's knocked up into CC'd into death counters, finding yet another kill for himself on this Jinx. Very powerful, now sitting at 1-0-1, as you got the support 1v1 that you don't even need. Double kill coming out for counters, as he could be looking for a triple here onto Panic, diving underneath that second tier tower. Doesn't really want to continue it though, so he will be walking away with just a double.
Counters piloting this Jinx so effectively in that fight. It was messy there, but ultimately he was just able to free hit through just about everything. No ultimate available on Hecarim to just dash in and pick up the rel. No CC available for the team. And still, look at the vision here. They're just always tracking where Panic Dingo is on the map, doing a phenomenal job making sure they know exactly where this Hecarim is. Everyone doing what they need to play safe here and make sure that Panic Dingo just can't get ahead.
Played that. I mean, Yoda played that really well, as he got so many autos off before he was able to die, and even his last few autos were helped just by the Magnet Storm, as he was pulled in towards Hardstuck Brothers, who was so low that all he needed was one more auto, and luckily Yoda was able to find it.
I mean, again, Daze hasn't left the top lane just yet, so once this Aurelia kind of is able to rotate out of this lane, but actually, Counter's just going in.
Counters, he's looking for this kill onto Yoda, who cleanses the W knockup from Rel so nicely, but unfortunately, he's gonna be going down to the rocket. Counters, nice pickup on that kills. Now, hey, it's Talon. He's got no ADC left. He's level 6 on the Thresh, but does not have anything up for him as Arth. Able to pick up that kill. Meanwhile, Daze gets a killing spree up in the top lane, this time with the help of Panic Diego.
Yeah, almost able to find it off the back of that Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but Counters brought the cleanse and uses it perfectly there in that fight. Able to just kite away from this bottom lane duo. They call in the jungler to clean it up entirely. And while the first tower will be going over here to Daze, I believe they're going to get a lot of plates and potentially tower bot lane as well.
All 5 plates up on Daze, not even having to drop the Rift Herald for him is really huge, kind of almost silently on this Aurelia now, as you can also see he is doubling Godzilla's CS, so he's effectively just shut Godzilla out of this game, taking his tower, taking 3 kills from him, and doubling his CS, which is just absolutely huge, which he's been able to do pretty consistently in every game throughout the series.
Now looking to try and pick up the Rift Herald. They do get the Feast this time, so CSRY happy to find a little bit more HP for themselves. I was almost going to suggest if he missed this next Feast that he's actually playing to not get stacks just so he's not a threat to his team with the set on the board. But we'll pick that one up. Now stacking up here on the Cho'Gath, just get a little bit more tanky. But again, like you said earlier, going for the AP-oriented build here. You need to be that damage threat so they aren't just an all-AD squad against this team comp from Hawthorn.
Yeah, he's got to build AP. He can't really build tank in this game, as tank is what Set wants him to build, and his team, like you're saying, they gotta have an 8 damage. Ash can do a little bit of it. Aurelia can also do a little bit of it, but really they've got no solid AP, and you've got two people on the side of Hawthorne that can stack that MR, that being that Shyvana and that Set, where both of them can deal damage. They can go armor and AP as well, so very versatile picks here that could go in many different builds that we're not quite sure are yet, as Yoda, he's going to be hitting that W onto Maddie, as Maddie does not take any damage quite yet, as Counters picking up yet another double kill in the spot lane.
Counters and Maddie back at it again. This is the bot lane that was promised in game 1, and now we're seeing it come up huge here in game 3. They just find yet another 2 versus 2 kill here, able to shove out this bottom lane once again. And it's ultimately Yoda and Heia's Talon just struggling to find even the ability to farm in this lane. They went for the engagement, burned some cooldowns, and Counters and Maddie Mice just jump on the opportunity to take the fight.
They jump on the opportunity, and now they're taking this first dragon for themselves as well, as you can just see how much damage Arth is able to do. Panic not even really wanting to go for a steal, as that is 1-1 on dragons now, but Hawthorne is up 2,000 gold.
It could have gone for the blast cone play, but would have not had a way to get out of the pit if it did go south, and uh-oh.
Oh no, Daze! He gets 1v1 by Godzilla underneath the tower, and Panic almost goes down. Luckily, the Thresh Lantern is almost gonna save him, but Counters finds yet another snipe with result. Now 6-0-2 on the Shanks.
Capedogs' entire game plan is just falling apart here in the middle of this game, as now the teleport will save this bot lane duo from getting dove once again. Serious for why too far away to go for the engagement. Enchanted Crystal Arrow available, but they just can't find the fight. Hawthorn Esports takes a tower, takes a shutdown, and takes a few kills for themselves on top of that dragon, and now are posturing themselves to be in a great position to transfer this lead in the middle game. There is a Rift Child available, but it's another fight in the bot lane.
Another fight, another flash in from Maddie, landing the double Magnet Storm taunt onto both of the members of Capedogs. TP coming in from Daze. I don't know if he's able to 1v3, even 1v4 is another TP coming in. He's trying to find the shutdown. He takes the shutdown down from Counters. He gets another kill out as well. He's flashing away. He has the fully stacked passive. Is he able to find another kill before it goes down? It doesn't look like it. He doesn't even have a shutdown as Arth takes that kill.
It was able to get a 900 gold shutdown there on the Counters, finally finding a kill on this ADC, but uh-oh,
oh no,
forward.
You walked a little too far forward there, my friend, and his shutdown as well, going down to Serious for why this is exactly what Capedogs needed to try and find an in back into this game.
Yeah, so here Panic Dingo finally is on a side of the jungle that isn't just covered in wards here from Hawthorn Esports. Finds a kill on the middle lane. Hardstrike brother did probably extend a little too far forward there on the Lucian, but was looking aggressively on his fears for why. It's a good look, but ultimately 2 versus 1, you're just not going to win that on Lucian.
No, you're not. He thought it was just going to be 1v1, but even taking a 1v1 underneath the tower is rough as Lucian, as Heia's Talon takes a lot of damage there from Counters. Luckily, the ult does not do quite enough damage to one-shot him there quite yet.
At this point, Capedogs Unleashed cannot play for these 5 versus 5s, and even now, underneath their tier 2, have to play super careful, as Yodacious is completely alone here. On my wave pings, this is going to be another dive.
Oh no, Yoda, you're making the same mistake, my friend. You're staying underneath the tower for way too long, as that is the 8th kill going over the Counters.
Yeah, 8 and 1 on the Jinx, just super far ahead on this ADC, and that's the wrong person to be ahead for this team comp from Capedogs Unleashed. Might even look for more here. It's getting low underneath that tower. They are splitting top, they are splitting bot, but you're looking at an inhibitor going down here if you don't get these backs off soon. Might be too little too late, as there are now Mia pinging top lane. They get back from a Hecarim, but this inhib's down. There's no way they can counter this.
Yeah, this is a 16-minute inhibitor take, though, which usually is not really a good thing to take, is when you take an inhibitor, you're trying to end the game with it, and not really being able to end the game this early on unless they get another miracle team fight is gonna feed a lot of XP and gold into Capedogs if they're able to utilize it, as now Daze caught up in a 1v5. Is he able to find any kills, as he is exhausted, does so much damage on the Hardstruck right before he's taken down.
Yeah, just no way. They call in the Goon Squad off the rotation from mid. There's just no way out for Daze there. Would have had to either walk into 2 and then try and fight his way through that. Tries to get out through the backside, but there's just 3 on the rotation. Too much CC, too much damage. Daze goes down once again. and they aren't able to find anything back here as they pushed all the way up mid, couldn't even take out the bot tier 1 tower, so Capedogs unleashed no rebuttal to Inhibitor falling here in the middle lane.
Yeah, no, all they were really able to take was 1 tower up top and half of the tier 2 tower with the help of Sears for Y, and then he was forced to recall just to make sure that they didn't keep going and take maybe even a Nexus tower at just 16 minutes. It was such a powerful siege play from Hawthorn, and now they've got full control for this Infernal Dragon and next Herald spawning in just a few seconds.
Ooh, and Daze is walking into fog here.
Oh no, Daze! He just face checked all 4 members of Hawkthorne. He doesn't even do any damage anymore as Counters picks up another kill on the Jinx.
Full lockdown here, spotted out on that ward once again. It's just been a story of deep vision here for Hawthorn Esports, always spotting out members of Capedogs as they're coming from base, and that time it nets them a kill.
Yeah, they have such strong lockdown, like you're saying. So much CC. You've got the Jinx traps, you've got the Rel W, you've got the Rel ult. Even Arth has a little bit of CC on his ult mid, and then obviously Godzilla. He's not really usually participating in these team fights. He's usually more looking to be that split pushing threat, but still, he's got so much CC in his kit that it is so hard to find any fight into Hawthorn Esports anymore.
I wasn't sure what was happening there, but they do eventually pick up this Herald. They'll also get the Dragon on the other side of the map. 18 minutes in. 2 dragons to their name. They got the Herald. They have an Inhibitor down in the mid lane. Hawthorn Esports set up for success here with the deep vision, kills on the right carries, gold in all the right places, and they have actually managed to completely shut down Daze, who was the one shining beacon of hope here for Capedogs this game.
Yeah, in the middle of it, it did look like it would be a 1v1 between Daze and Counters, and the Daze was able to find the 700 shutdown on the Counters, and now he's just been picked off one too many times, and he's given his own shutdown down to Counters one too many times, and he's just so huge sitting on this Jinx, as you can just see. With the combination of the culling and the super mega death rock, it takes Hayes Talon so low as now Daze could be looking to find the miracle team fight, but immediately gets one shot as there's just too much CC and not enough follow-up for him.
That was just the wrong hill to die on here. You never try and defend those tier 2s. They had Rift Herald as well. Entire team was there, but Daze just walks too far forward, tries to drop the Blade Surge to try and stay alive.
Oh no.
Can't even do that, and now everyone's just so low. They have no ultimates left. Shelly's still alive here, will finally go down, so we'll have to see if they can continue this push, but that's 2 inhibs now. 20 minutes, not even here on the clock yet. We're 15 seconds out, and Hawthorn Esports once again finds a fight, finds objectives, and Baron coming up here in just a little bit. They've got to be looking for that next.
Yeah, Baron spawning in just 5 seconds, then it really does look like Hawthorn Esports are just gonna go take Baron right on spawn. You do have Shyvana there as well, who's just really gonna destroy this Baron. All 5 of these members do so much damage to these neutral objectives. You can see it's gonna go down before even the 12-second or 20-second marker hits.
Yeah, so Irelia was the only one who was even close enough to stop anything here. The rest of Capedogs are just gonna back off of this objective, hand over the Baron. 1 tower left on the in their base outside of these Nexus towers, protecting this final inhibitor top lane. Daze is shoving out these waves to try and knock as much time off this Baron as possible, but really, I'm just not seeing a way for Capedogs to come back in this one.
Yeah, they've just got to try and farm up. I mean, Daze still does a little bit of damage on this Relia, obviously not nearly as much as he did just 5 or 6 minutes ago, as he still has a little bit of a split push presence. It's just, you know, when you're constantly collapsed on 3 or 4 members from Hawkthorne, there's only so much you can do before you're taken down.
Yeah, and here it is. 5 members strong in the top lane. They don't need split pushers. They just able to run you down underneath your towers. Don't need to force out the pressure to create a 4 versus 5 under the tower. They're just willing to take it straight up. They know their numbers or their strength. They have the strength in numbers here with the Jinx, backing up the damage of this entire team composition. And look at the tower just melt.
That tower was full health and is completely taken in less than 5 seconds. Now they've landed the Astral down on the Counters. One more auto might find the shutdown down onto Panic, but double kill coming up from Hardstuck. They do so much damage as the backline of Capedogs is completely melted. Yoda, last member alive, but not for long as he's taken down 2. Triple kill for Hardstuck as it looks like Hawthorn Esports are going to be taking game 3 tonight.
Yeah, that was the ideal setup. They managed to land so much CC and damage early on the Counters, but the rest of this team at this point is too far ahead. It just doesn't even matter. everyone falls for Capedogs. They only managed to trade out one on the ADC, and it's game number 3, putting Hawthorn Esports at match point.
Yeah, Hawthorn Esports now 2-1 up on the series that they started 0-1. Very, very strong performances. We've gotten to see quite a few interesting picks, quite a few interesting lane swaps that we really weren't expecting originally.
Yeah, I can't say I was expecting this Trivana at all, and this pick actually came up huge for them. They managed to secure early dragons, they snowballed that lead, they found every neutral objective in this game, except for maybe a Rift Herald that I don't think really went anywhere here for Capedogs. So really strong game here from Hawkthorne. All the deep vision they had completely nullified what Panic Dingo was able to do this game. And when they have Prio and bot and mid, the 2 lanes you're trying to help out here on this Hecarim, you're just not gonna be able to find anything in this game. So really good setup here from Hawkthorne. They're looking strong going into what could be the last game of the series. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this draft here? Was there a mistaken draft or execution for the side of Capedogs?
Well, Hawkthorne in both game 2 and game 3, once they got one lead, and that one lead was in the bot lane both games, with their Jinx getting like 8 kills before she was even shut down, they were able to get the jungle suffocation. And once you suffocate out the jungle, usually that suffocates out the laners and the side lanes as well. And that is something that Hawkthorne has shown so well and so strongly in both game 2 and game 3. That is usually a very good and very consistent way to be winning these games.
We also do now have results from the other side of the broadcast. Lotus has 3-0'd their opponents, CBC, Clockwork, in that series. So looking dominant. Whoever wins this series will be facing off against Lotus White in the grand finals here on XLNC. We've got the rest of the series to cover here as we move forward. It will be game 4 now coming in with Hawkthorne on that 2-1 lead. Can they take the series here and now, or will be Capedogs Unleashed making the comeback? Stay tuned to find out. We'll be right back here on XLNC Esports 2.